Following the Money, a deep dive into the Trump family finances. The Trump family's financial saga spans generations, weaving a complex tapestry of real estate empires, inherited wealth, and controversial transactions. From Donald Trump's grandparents to his children, the flow of money reveals a story of ambition, privilege, and at times questionable dealings. This article traces the origins of the Trump fortune, its growth through the decades, and the areas where shady money, transactions marked by legal scrutiny, tax evasion, or opaque sources, casts a shadow over the family's legacy. The roots: Friedrich and Elizabeth Trump. The Trump family fortune began with Donald Trump's grandfather, Friedrich Trump, a German immigrant who arrived in the United States in 1885. Fleeing mandatory military service in Bavaria, Friedrich initially worked as a barber in New York before heading west during the Klondike Gold Rush. In the Yukon, he operated hotels and restaurants, some reportedly doubling as brothels, catering to prospectors. While not a real estate mogul, Friedrich amassed a modest fortune, estimated at around $500,000 in today's dollars, before returning to New York. His ventures laid the groundwork for the family's wealth, though their morally ambiguous nature hinted at a willingness to skirt the edges of propriety. After Friedrich's death from influenza in 1918, his widow Elizabeth Chris Trump took the reins. A shrewd businesswoman, Elizabeth founded Elizabeth Trump Son, the precursor to the Trump Organization. She leveraged her late husband's real estate holdings, building and selling homes in Queens, and established a legacy of financial acumen that her son, Fred, would later expand. Elizabeth's role is often overshadowed in the Trump narrative, yet her management was pivotal in transitioning the family from modest means to a burgeoning real estate dynasty. Fred Trump, building the empire. Fred Trump, Donald's father, transformed the family's modest holdings into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Born in 1905, Fred began working in construction as a teenager and, with his mother's backing, started developing single-family homes in Queens during the 1920s. His big break came during the Great Depression, when he capitalized on foreclosures and government-subsidized housing projects. By the 1940s, Fred's company was building large apartment complexes, often with federal funding, amassing a portfolio of over 27,000 units in New York. Fred's wealth, however, wasn't without controversy. In 1954, a U.S. Senate committee investigated him for profiteering on government contracts, alleging he inflated costs to pocket excess funds. Though he faced no formal charges, the scrutiny highlighted a pattern of exploiting loopholes. Another murky episode occurred in 1927 when Fred was arrested at a Ku Klux Klan rally in Queens. While his involvement with the group remains unclear, the incident underscores the enigmatic nature of his early years. Shady money spotlight, tax dodges and transfers. Fred's financial maneuvers grew more sophisticated and questionable as he sought to pass wealth to his children. A 2018 New York Times investigation revealed that Fred and his wife Mary transferred over $1 billion in today's dollars to their children, including Donald, through a web of 295 revenue streams. This included setting up a sham corporation, All County Building Supply Maintenance, in 1992, which funneled millions to Donald and his siblings under the guise of maintenance expenses, dodging gift taxes that could have exceeded $550 million under the prevailing 55% rate. Additionally, Fred undervalued his real estate empire on tax filings, claiming properties worth nearly $1 billion were valued at just $41, $4 million, only for his children to sell them years later for over 16 times that amount. These tactics, described by experts as bordering on fraud, saved the family hundreds of millions and spotlight a legacy of shady financial engineering. Donald Trump, from heir to headliner. Donald Trump, born in 1946, inherited both wealth and ambition from his father. By age 8, he was a millionaire through trust funds, and as a young adult, he received millions more, equivalent to $413 million today, via Fred's empire. Contrary to Donald's oft-repeated claim of building his fortune from a small loan of $1 million, the reality was a steady infusion of cash, loans, and real estate stakes from his father. Donald shifted the family focus to Manhattan, spearheading high-profile projects like Trump Tower. Yet his ventures were underpinned by Fred's support, co-signing loans, bailing out failing casinos, and even buying $5 million in casino chips in 1990 to help Donald meet a bond payment, an illegal loan per New Jersey regulators, resulting in a $65,000 fine. These lifelines blur the line between inheritance and intervention, casting doubt on Donald's self-made narrative. D. Shady money spotlight, foreign funds, and tax schemes. Donald's finances grew murkier as his empire expanded. In the 2000s, after multiple bankruptcies left U.S. banks wary, he turned to foreign capital. Deutsche Bank, despite Trump's history of defaults, loaned him hundreds of millions. Loans later scrutinized for potential ties to Russian backers, though no definitive proof has emerged. His sons, Eric and Donald Jr., have boasted of Russian funding for golf courses, with Eric noting in 2014, "We have all the funding we need out of Russia." Cash purchases of Trump properties by Russian oligarchs and mob-linked figures further fueled money laundering suspicions, though investigations like Robert Mueller's found no smoking gun. Tax evasion allegations also loom large. The New York Times reported Donald engineered dubious deductions, like claiming personal properties as business assets, and participated in Fred's schemes to undervalue assets. In 2023, a New York court found he'd inflated his net worth by billions to secure favorable loans, ordering him to pay over $500 million in penalties and interest, a sum still unpaid as of early 2025, hinting at ongoing financial strain or defiance. The next generation, Donald's children, Donald's 5 children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, Eric, Tiffany, and Barron, have inherited pieces of the empire, though their financial roles vary. Donald Jr. and Eric took over Trump Organization operations during their father's presidency, while Ivanka and her husband, Jared Kushner, pursued parallel ventures. Tiffany and Barron, younger and less involved, remain peripheral figures, shady money spotlight, conflicts, and crypto. The Trump children's finances have drawn scrutiny for blending business with political influence. During Donald's first term, the Trump Organization charged the Secret Service exorbitant rates, up to $185 per night, for stays at Trump properties, netting at least $1, $4 million in taxpayer funds, per the Washington Post. Eric and Donald Jr., trips to Trump golf courses and hotels accompanied by agents, suggest a profit motive tied to their father's office, a practice ethics experts decry as exploitative. Ivanka and Jared's dealings raise red flags too. Jared's firm, Affinity Partners, secured $2 billion from Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund in 2022, shortly after his White House tenure advising on Middle East policy. Critics, including a Senate report, suspect influence buying, especially as the firm has yet to yield profits. Meanwhile, the Trump Organization's 2025 deal with Jared's company to build a Trump Tower in Serbia, on a site tied to past geopolitical tensions, further intertwines family and foreign interests. Eric and Donald Jr., his latest venture, World Liberty Financial, a cryptocurrency platform launched in 2024, includes investor Justin Sun, accused of fraud by the SEC in 2023. Sun's $30 million stake underscores the family's penchant for controversial partners, with Eric promising a large wall between business and government, a claim met with skepticism given past patterns. Where the money went, the Trump fortune has flowed into real estate, casinos, branding, think Trump Stakes and Trump University, the latter settled for $25 million over fraud claims, and political campaigns. Losses are equally notable. Donald's casinos bled millions, and his businesses reported $1. $17 billion in losses from 1985 to 1994 per tax records. Today, his net worth, estimated between $5.1 billion Forbes and $7. $7 billion, Bloomberg, hinges on Trump Media Technology Group, though its volatile stock and modest revenue raise questions about stability. Conclusion: from Friedrich's frontier ventures to Fred's tax-dodging empire and Donald's foreign-fueled expansions, the Trump family's wealth is a tale of ingenuity laced with shadows. The children's forays into crypto and government-adjacent deals suggest the pattern persists. While not all shady transactions have led to convictions, the recurring themes, undervaluation, foreign cash, and blurred lines between public office and private gain, paint a dynasty where money's origins and destinations often defy transparency. Following the money reveals not just a family's rise, but a legacy perpetually under scrutiny.